I was fired for my riding instructor, assistant trainer job that I had in 2011 for going on a bachelor party. It was my best friend. I was the best man, and I planned a bachelor party in Lake Tahoe, and it was in the summertime. And when I came back from that bachelor party, um, my boss, who I'm still friends with and I totally respect, but she said, I can't believe that you actually went. It was the middle of show season. You missed a show. All the clients that we've been prepping, um, you weren't there to help them. And, horse trainers make those sacrifices. You can't leave for a weekend in the middle of show season, and it's basically over. I don't want you to work here anymore. And of course, I think there were underlying issues, and maybe that was the the sort of excuse, or maybe it wasn't working out for other reasons. But that's definitely what the definitive answer was. You took a weekend off in the middle of show season, and it's over. And I was like most horse people. The amount of time and money that my parents. I was more fortunate than most people. I had really good parents that invested a lot in me and spent a lot of money on the horses, and so did I. Afterwards, and obviously all of my time. And I could have pretty much gone to like any graduate program or been a doctor or an engineer, probably several times over with the amount of money and time. But the horse world after that investment was basically like, you can make $2,000 a month. That's what I was making. Um, right? And it's just not like an attractive investment, right? Because if you invest in being a doctor, maybe you expect to make 250,000, or you invest in being a horse trainer, and I was only making $2,000 a month, and I was fired for missing a weekend in the summer. And so I was 30 years old at that time. So I'm 42 now. So this was embarrassing, right? I'm 30. My friend, my best friend, who I was the best man, he was at Microsoft and really going places with his career. My other friends were working for, PwC and GE, and really, like, when I meet up with them, I was embarrassed, and I moved back in with my parents, and my dad was nice enough to let me work in the family business. He was a certified financial planner. I was also a certified financial planner, but my heart wasn't really into that. Obviously, I was into the horses, but my parents were obviously like not so secretly rooting that I would kind of fail and forget this whole horse thing, and do something different you know and so I'd work for my dad's business in the mornings until about 3, and do financial planning, and in the afternoons I would go to a public stable, and I would teach lessons for about $50 a lesson. And I had about 5 clients, but they weren't consistent. They would, some weeks they'd want 2 lessons, some weeks none. And honestly, just having 5 clients paying maybe $50 a lesson, if they came or not, it wasn't didn't add up to be a ton. Maybe 500 to 1,000 a month in lessons. And I also sold 4-star horse trailers, and pretty soon I spread pretty thin. I also imported a few nice horses from Germany, and I sold all those for a profit, but it took me over a year to sell each one, which is a nerve wracking experience because you got all this money invested in them, and you don't know when they're going to sell. The phone's not ringing, and then when they did sell, I was actually kind of heartbroken because what I really wanted was to keep these horses for myself. That's what I really wanted, and it was like as soon as one of them was going well, then somebody else wanted them. As soon as that horse was trying hard for me, then it was sold, and I'm still heartbroken about those horses I imported. And the horse dealer knows what I'm talking about. It's really hard. The other hard thing about being a dealer is it's hard to keep good stock because you always sell your best horse, and you're left with the ones that don't sell, and it's for a reason usually. So the quality pool is always going down. Like I worked for a horse dealer in Germany, and he once traded the best horse for cash plus like 4 mediocre horses, and now I was riding, went from riding a really really nice horse for him, and then 4 call them mediocre horses. Uh, so you can see how hard that is. But anyways, I digress from my story. The point is that I came to the same conclusion after trying, what I thought was trying hard, is I came to the same conclusion that a lot of professionals come to is that not only do you not get paid in this industry, but the industry has a tendency to make you sacrifice your family, your social life, your friends, everything. And I love horses and I love helping people with horses, but I also want, you know, a family. I want kids and I want time to spend with them and I want to go places and I want to travel, you know? And so, you know, the horse industry, I mean, you can't have a conversation with the horse industry, right? It's not like a thing. But the conversation I had in my head was that the horse industry was saying that's not possible, right? But it's an important thing for me to recognize this is all in my head, right? I can make different decisions, and I'll get into that. So, you know, all I really wanted and still want is to work with horses, to get paid, treat horses well, and still have a life, right? And you know, I'm a contrarian, so I was kind of perfect for this challenge. And you know, I never really believed all the people that told me that you have to be broke and you can't have any time and still do this. I never really believed that was possible. I knew there was a way to do things differently. And I'll get into what that looks like. So, you know, after about 5 years of working for my dad, my heart wasn't into it. I wanted to do my own thing. I didn't want to work for him anymore. We had a falling out over the business stuff, which is, you know, too bad, but unfortunately common. And you know, family business people working together, whole other story. But I started my own practice, and I actually moved across the country. I was like, I'm going to start my own practice. I'm going to move across the country. I got married. I had a kid, and I moved across the country with my wife and with Zara, and I started my own practice. Just, I'm going to get my own clients, but I geared it exclusively towards people in the horse industry. That's the only people I worked with, people in the horse industry. And this was 2018. Everybody told me I was crazy and this is a really bad idea, but I made it the mission of the company to get horse trainers and riding instructors more money and more time. That was the promise. That's what I wanted to figure out.